What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Yuma. It's been a very long time, and I'm gonna save you guys the sorry, wallowy. We're gonna be back sort of shit. We're just gonna hop right into it, dude.
It's 2020. Let's roll. Full send.
Dude.
No apologies.
The only podcast I have in 2020 is with Joe Umbrella, and then he moved. And then you're the second one, and now you're gonna leave again too. So the trend for the podcast in 2020, I'm only gonna have people that are gonna move. Only people that are leaving. So Cara's gonna leave us. So and the next person that's gonna be on is gonna move away.
Just trying to help make room for bigger and better people in your life.
No, dude, you are big, and you are one of the best people that I know.
Wow.
And I'm not just saying that because you're here. Well, that's why I wanted to have you on. Here, make sure I'm not peeking here. That's a big reason why I wanted to have you on because, this was like a long time coming. And when I decided I wanted to just hop back in, it was just because, like, I feel like every time I do a comeback episode, whether if it was with Convos, whether if it was with Stoked and Stroked, he's gonna be so mad that I forgot. Whether if it was with Stoked and Stroked, like I always felt like I needed to do like this grand "we're back" sort of thing. But today I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it like if I never stopped. But the person I wanted to have you on because you're like one of my best friends.
Wow. I'm honored. Thank you.
But we talked about doing this for a very long time, so I was like, you know what? Let's just get it done.
Cool.
So thanks for coming on, pal.
Yeah, of course. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, and a lot of people that listen to the show kind of know who you are from Combos and Confesito. But a big reason why I wanted to talk to you because, like, with this potty, with Yuma, like, people have, like, some expectations of it, but I just want to treat it like Rogan style where, you know, I do live in Yuma, but I want to talk to pals that I love and pals that I think are inspiring. And for you, I always told people, remember like when you first moved here and like, and you had no idea about the culture. And it was so fun to like, and it was so fun to teach you things because like, you didn't know like what so many things were. I mean, you know what chamoy, no, you didn't even know what chamoy was or like
Never
limon,
heard of it.
like all these things that we loved or things that we grew up with like hot Cheetos and cheese with like limon and phrases like chonis and chanclas and shit like that. And just like Chicano culture, you had no idea about. Yeah. And it was so funny, like every week after week, like doing the podcast and you would laugh and you wouldn't know what these things were. And I'm like, oh wait, Cara you don't know what chanclas are? That shit was so fun. But like your Yuma experience, a big reason why I wanted to have you on, not only are you one of my best friends, but a big reason I wanted to have you on is because like your human experience was a very unique one because you're not from here. And to see somebody like yourself move here and totally dive into the culture and utilize it and experience it as much as you have inspired me, and I know a big like our circle of friends to like want to do more. I feel like you had a direct impact on like our social circle and as much exploring and hiking as we do. Like I know for me, like I used to do it pretty, not as often as I, once did, but when you came and we started doing all those hikes, like you definitely, I know, inspired a lot of people to want to get out and explore more for sure. So It was pretty cool. Like, you remember that? Like, I remember like a year ago, like all the hiking we did and everything. So like, it was so much fun. And because of you, I feel like you inspired a lot of us to want to go out and take our dogs out and go on a hike.
Wow. I'm just so incredibly humbled by all of that because it's truly mutual. And I think the way our social circle is, everything's very mutual, very symbiotic, because I don't see it like I was influencing you guys in any way at all. If at all, it was like, you know how like reaction videos are the trend on YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
I just felt like last year was just a huge like reaction to human culture.
And
And so I feel like I did nothing for you guys. I feel like I was just trying to absorb and learn and just enjoy as much as I could. And yeah, I love it because I remember with those hikes, it started truly with Critter and with
Oh
you
yeah.
and Jared. You guys did, I think, a photo shoot for X Endurance.
Oh yeah, we went to Pilot's Knob. We went to the Knob. It's a good one, dude.
Actually, have you ever seen the knob on a map?
No, why? Does it look like a thumb?
Oh, you should look at it.
Does it look weird?
You just look at it.
What does it look like?
Look at it.
What does it look
I'll
like?
let you draw your own conclusions. You know how people like to look at the sky and try to make shapes and meaning out of clouds?
Does it look like a ween?
Well,
Pilot's Knob looks like a ween?
Google it. Look at it.
Oh shit, I didn't know
Just
that.
look at it. It's like that meme. Just look at it.
Just look at You and the memes, dude.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that hike. That was kind of the jumping off point, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because Critter and I, so it was all kind of like a year ago, huh? Well, for the people that don't know you, like you are from, where are you from? Can you tell people where you're from?
Yeah. So I grew up like very, very sheltered.
Yeah.
So I grew up south of Boston in the same house my whole life. I
Yeah.
left home at 17 after graduating high school.
Get
Went
close to that mic.
Went to summer camp.
Yeah, look at that.
Went to summer military camp and then went to military college in Vermont.
Yeah.
So I'm very much East Coast based. From there, I went back home, just worked like a normal human or average human being.
Yeah.
I worked at a coffee shop. I was substitute teaching. I was a church pianist, all that stuff.
That's a lot of really cool things, by the way.
I don't know. Maybe I do have ADD. It's really hard for me to really commit to one thing.
You're also very creative, though, as like a
Why?
friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's easy to be creative, being around other creative, inspirational people. Just people that like to do stuff, basically.
Yeah, make shit.
I love being around people that love to do stuff. But yeah, went from there to Quantico, Virginia to do entry-level training for the Marine Corps. And then after that, went to North Carolina. And I've been pretty much North Carolina based in my adult life. Spent most of my 20s there. Spent a little bit of time in Mississippi Ben was stationed there when I got out of the Marine Corps. So from there, we went back to North Carolina, and then we came here to Yuma.
Yeah.
So, but in between, we've done a lot of road trips. Oh shoot! There was also that time we lived in 29 Palms.
Oh yeah, I heard you talk
California.
about that for a little bit.
Yeah, so we did a cross-country trip. Like the military gives you 7 days or so to move across the country. I think we did it in like 2.5 or 3.
You guys are savages.
Oh, it was so dumb. I don't know why we did that. I think we just felt this incredible sense of urgency. And so we did it, just like barely shutting the car off. I think we might have stopped once to take a nap, just lean the seats back a
Yeah.
little bit to shut our eyes. But pretty much we just swapped back and forth until we made it to California.
Is that when, did you have Peggy or Rocky then?
No, we were dog free. And up
Oh,
until
shit.
a little over 2 years ago, we were totally dog free. I didn't
Yeah.
even like dogs.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought they
that's
were
right.
cool. But I never really thought I really wanted one.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, that's a lot of work, and they're kind of dirty and loud.
You know
my
what's
life
funny
is
is like
dogs.
if people knew you,
Mm-hmm.
they would never expect that from you because you're like the biggest. You're like one of the best dog moms like I've ever
Oh,
seen. You're like
thanks.
such a good dog mom, dude.
Thank you.
Do you
I
think?
love them.
Yeah, dude. I don't honestly. I'm trying to think. I don't think I know anybody else off the top of my head that is as enthusiastic about their dogs as you are. I mean, for fuck's sake, you named your Instagram after your dogs. I was trying to look up your Instagram earlier, and I was like, why can't I find the Blazing Asian? And I was like, oh yeah, she changed her fucking Instagram.
Man, I've got Instagram handle ADD too, because now I'm like, should I really just give them their own page? Like,
Just switch your identity.
because I'm like, what does my existence matter? My existence is about making their lives comfortable.
Yeah.
Because a byproduct of that is trying to make their lives good. My life infinitely gets better. Because I'm like, oh man, why my dogs look bored? They're just sitting there. What am I doing for them? They need more adventures. They need a hike.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go hiking. They're gonna love it. I just
Yeah.
want to see the smile on their face. And then I look back. I'm like, man, that hike was awesome. And it was for the doggies. They just make my life better, and they
Yeah.
encourage me to be active and just get out there. So
Did you hike as much? I never asked you this. Did you hike as much as you do now before the dogs, or did you hike more because of them?
growing up, my dad always encouraged us to be active, so we
Oh yeah,
did
that's
little
right.
hikes. I was part of the mountaineering club at school,
That's kind
so
of dorky, but it sounds like
it was, oh gosh, it was like
kind of cool though.
I was such a rotsy Nazi in a
D-
good way.
a Rotzi Nazi? What's a
Yes.
Rotzi Nazi?
So someone who's really motivated
Yeah.
about military activities.
Rotzi Nazi?
Yeah.
What does Rotzi mean?
ROTC is Reserve Officer Training Corps.
That's pretty funny.
So when you go to college and it's an optional program.
Yeah.
You can elect to take an ROTC course. Usually it counts as like an extracurricular
Oh, that's what my
credit.
brother did. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then from there you can choose to go into the military.
Rotzi Nazi.
Yeah. If
Okay,
you have a
sorry.
military contract or you have a military scholarship, it's a required course you take in college. And of course they have junior ROTC available in high
Oh, okay.
schools and stuff. But yeah, in ROTC, so my college, it's a private school, so they had all 5 ROTCs available. And Army ROTC was special because
Yeah.
they offered mountaineering training.
That actually sounds pretty cool. I was just messing around.
Yeah.
when I was
Oh
joking with you.
no, it's okay.
That sounds
No,
pretty sick.
I relish in dorkiness. I love being
Did you guys
dorky.
get a patch and everything too?
Oh my gosh, that's
That'd be pretty
hilarious that
sick.
you asked. Yes.
You did?
Yes. We had these special hats and everything. Every time we marched to the chow hall and anywhere we went, we had
Yeah.
to like tie a bunch of knots before we could earn our way into the chow hall.
Yeah.
I think it's called a dining facility now. It's a little bit more proper.
Chow hall?
Chow hall. Yeah,
That's
and you know what?
fucking cute.
It is cute.
That's
but
fucking cute.
that's how you know the Air Force is doing things right. They call it a dining facility.
It's funny
DFAC.
because like I didn't realize how how my brother and like being in the Air Force, like I'm trying to mind my P's and Q's here, but like how how like yeah, I was talking to when every time we talk about like my brother and like being a pilot in like the Air Force, they're always telling me like the Air Force is like the golden child of like the military branches. I mean, I'm not really minding P's and Q's because like I feel like all I have to do is listen to one Josh Bridges podcast and like he just fucking rails on the Air Force. And like I don't care, like, but it's just funny because I didn't know that like that's how it was. Like the Air Force were like the golden boys for like pilots.
Oh, for
I mean, they're
sure.
called the fucking Air Force for
Yeah.
shit's sake, but not even for pilots, right? Like just for like military,
Everything.
they're just like the golden kids.
Yeah, they're well funded. They have a more professional culture. They're a little less. I would venture to say they're a little less fratty.
Drink a lot.
Not as much as the Marine Corps, though.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
You compare a Marine Corps birthday ball to an Air Force birthday ball, but thanks to COVID, none of that's probably going to happen this
Yeah,
year.
that's true. Huh?
But yeah, Marine Corps birthday balls off the chain.
That sounds fun.
I mean, that's one day out of the year where it's every Marine's birthday, and they
That's
take
right.
it so seriously.
Dude, they're so much fun.
is fun.
I got to shoot I got to take photos of a Marine Corps ball over there when it was like in one of the it was right here in downtown,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so much fun. Like they're all wild. It's like a frat.
Oh, yeah.
They're so much fun. They're cool, dude. I
Bunch
like
of
hanging out with-
ruffians.
They're cool. You know what's funny is like at times in my life I think about like joining the military because it seems like a good time, and then I hear like Jordan stories in the military and my brothers doesn't seem that bad, but then like other people's stories I'm like I don't think I can listen to somebody telling me what to do 24/7 and telling me what I can and cannot say, and I'm just not down for that. So maybe not.
Honestly, it's gonna sound cliche, but it is. It's like what they say about life. It's what you make of it.
That's true.
You know, I would just say that the military experience is a little more concentrated, and also everything is accelerated. So in
Oh,
a
yeah.
4 or 5 year contract, what you might experience on an average course of life in maybe 10 years, you get it in a little bundle within 3 to 4 years. People grow
Yeah.
up fast. A lot of people get married early. They have kids early. They see a lot of bad stuff, especially if they're getting deployed to the front lines. And that stuff
Mm-hmm.
really, it makes an impact on you. It matures you as an individual. So for some people, it wrecks you, you know?
Yeah.
It causes people to, take on unhealthy habits. Other people, learn and grow from it.
Yeah.
And it's really all what you make of it. There's some things I think people never recover from. But, what I've found from the military bunch is that it's incredible how it's like a cross section of American society. You take one individual from like every town across America, every socioeconomic bracket. You put them all together, you strip them of their identity. You all wear the same clothes to work every day. You
Yeah.
don't know who's what. but you're all expected to work together. And I
Yeah.
think that idea is kind of a beautiful thing, actually.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that 100%. I like what you just said because we need more of that in just everyday's people's everyday life.
Mm.
Because, and as you were saying that, I was thinking, I was like, that'd be nice to have some sort of program like that as like a kid. I mean, I guess school would be that place to learn that, but they don't really exercise those values in school, which I feel like they should because I would agree with that. Because I remember like, my only military experience is like with my brother. It's so funny that we're talking about the military right now. I was like, this is not what I expected with Cora, but we'll go.
Yeah, let's full send.
With my brother and his like military experience, I remember seeing that like the camaraderie is something that isn't something to like undermine. Like it's huge and it's something that you can't really appreciate unless you're involved in it like you were or you see it like I did. Cuz like the bond that my brother, even though my brother like he went to U of A, he was in the ROTC and a lot of his friends were like in ROTC for the military, but other than like the bonds that he has with these people that he sees like whether if it's in training or it was in school, like it's something that I tell him all the time like dude, you have some of the most awesome friends like friends that he's had since school and a lot of it like maybe not directly from the military but just like the camaraderie that was inspired from that sort of life because some of them my brother was Air Force One, like Oscar was like I think he was like Navy, and then they all tried a little bit of a thing, but even aside from that, like from training, like all the relationships that he builds with people, like all different walks of life, all different races, all different ethnicities, and like I never really, there's the frustrations that you have with people because they're people, but he always has like these deep bonds with people, and like it's cool to see, and it's hard. Like I feel like it's more uncommon now with people. Like I'm lucky enough to have those with people because I have friends, but like my brother, like in seeing that experience, I think it's pretty cool.
For sure. And I think I see what you're saying, how,
Hmm.
people in the military have those deep bonds.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think everybody has that coming out of the military. But I will say that because of just the expectation there is on an active duty person being in the military, like you're expected to follow the rules, you're expected to just get the job done, things like that. But and in a way, it can be forced friendship. It can be like, oh, well, I guess we all have to be friends. I guess we all work together and we all have to like hang out now.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that forced friendship, a little bit of kind of like a canned situation. Like, man, I have to go to this social event. This is like making friends in a petri dish. This is
Yeah.
so weird. Because I could say from personal experience, I went the complete opposite end. Like, I was in, and then I got out, and I was like, you know what? I'm so sick of this forced friendship thing. What happened to just making friendships organically out of
Yeah.
like natural circumstances and
Mm.
the flow of life experiences rather than just forcing all this upon oneself. So I think either way is great.
Yeah.
And I do think though that sometimes the friendships you make naturally are there's something really special and I think that's why I treasure the human circle so much because a lot of us I think want we just want to do better. We just want something better. We
Yeah.
want to enjoy life. We want to do more than just I mean these are just observations I make
Yeah.
out of our circle. Everyone wants to do more than just work.
Yeah.
There's that
Yeah.
saying like some people live to work, other people work to live and
Yeah.
I definitely think that for us, it's definitely the latter, and it's so cool making these kinds of friendships because I mean you're learning and growing through all these experiences, and for the military, you're somewhat limited,
Mm.
you know, because even the friendships now are somewhat dictated by the military. I'm not saying like when
Yeah.
I leave here, all my human friends disappear.
Yeah.
But there's an expiration date to everything because ultimately the Marine Corps is determining the pace of our life.
Yeah. For you guys, right?
Yeah, if we were to just be people and stay in Yuma, it would be so incredible to see how friendships and social circles grow from
Yeah.
that because even like what I love about Yuma is like it's truly like a small city.
Mm.
There's a lot of people here, but
Yeah.
to me they're very well networked. So, like there's the Hidden Valley crew, And then there's people you know through, I don't know, skateboarding, your childhood friends, your family. It's like everyone's families live here.
Oh yeah, and everybody's somebody's cousin. Yeah, you
Exactly.
would never know, dude.
It's incredible. And then even like all the local gyms here, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
It's such a mutual thing. Everyone knows someone that works at the hospital. You know,
Oh yeah.
everyone like everyone knows each other's barbers. Like it's
Yeah.
just it's so mutual. Like it's
Very well
incredible.
connected.
It is all the local
Yeah.
businesses. You know, every time someone opens up like a juice bar or coffee shop or a new restaurant, it's like there's so much love and support from
Yeah.
the community, and I love seeing that.
Yeah, and it's funny because like for me, that was a big thing that I've always enjoyed about this place was I liked how small it was. I always felt like there was a potential here, and we were always just behind. Because like when I left to Phoenix and I went to school and started a career, it was nice because to experience like a big city like that, and then you come back, and then I came back, and then you realize that we have all the tools for that, and that we're just we're growing and we're catching up. But there's a lot of the one thing that I missed about when I was gone, like when you live in a bigger city like Phoenix or something, is like the community aspect, and it's huge here, and it's huge, and I love it because we talked about it a lot before, where if you are not a great person here, people are gonna find out fast. If you're shady, all that stuff. If you don't have a good test of character, people are gonna find out fast. Like your reputation, you live and die by your reputation here, especially if you're a business, which I appreciate, because I feel like the people that don't appreciate that stuff, that means you're probably a bad person or you did something bad, which is like totally fine. People make mistakes. It's not like you're allowed to make mistakes. Like shit happens in people's lives, but it's just the responsibility of that. I love that, because when you're forced to look in the mirror and face your responsibilities, and if because I haven't been like, as a business owner here, like I've made mistakes. Like I've let down clients before. I'm not perfect, and I've had to say sorry and shit. Like there's jobs that I would, I wish I didn't drop the ball on, but shit happens. And people can always say what they want, and but even then, like it's your responsibility as like not even just a business owner, but as a person in a small city. Because I'm sure even you just living here, like cheese is huge here. The cheese is huge here.
It is.
But
There's
to get
some big cheese.
Oh my god, bro! I love and I hate the cheese.
Yeah.
I love the cheese when it's just all fun and games, but
yeah.
the cheese can get real. The cheese can get bad real fast.
Yeah.
And that's
sure.
the thing here is like, even your reputation as a person can go a long way as well. Because there's always like, oh, did you hear so and so about this person? Blah, 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 this person, you hear what they did? You hear blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, I've been lucky enough to have friends where a majority of the time it's mostly positivity. Especially like conversations between you and I, it's always like, you've always helped me see the better in things as well. Like you're Miss Positivity all the time. Almost to the point where like, I'm almost like, Cara, be a little negative. Like, be a little negative. I'm going to need a little negativity out of you, because that's just reality.
Oh, man.
I'm going to need
it's
a little
easy to be positive around great people, though.
Yeah, it is. And that's the whole, and that's the thing too, is like, and one thing about you that I always appreciate is like, you never had anything bad to say about somebody. And it always reminded, like it always reminded me to not do that either, because like, it's easy to get caught up in that cheese stuff, because like, it's just easy for people. Cause we were talking about, I was telling you about when I read the Book of Four Agreements.
Yeah.
I love that book. It like changed my life. I need to read it again.
Likewise.
But yeah, oh my god, dude, shit just does not stick in this brain. But one that like things that I really liked about that book is they say that gossip is like black magic, and it totally resonated, because I think that's not just here. It's just human nature.
It is.
Like you just, when there's nothing to talk about, it almost, I like it, because if I find myself like talking about another person or talking negatively about another person, I realize I need to focus my attention somewhere else, and that not that I don't have enough going on. I don't know why I want to say that, but I need to focus on better things. Like I'm not focused on the right things if I'm talking about other people. Like you should never have a conversation about somebody else if it's in the negative. And I know if I'm starting to talk about other people in the negative, then I need to focus on myself. Because many times, like, like it was weird, because then like when I read that book, I was like having conversations with people. I'm like, bro, we need to stop talking about this person. Like this is not beneficial in any way. Like what is their life having to do with our life, and especially on social media.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a big thing.
it's a big old neggy world if you if you let it be.
Something that comes to mind as you're telling me all this is
Yeah.
like, it brings up the question, what's real life?
Yeah.
Because so much of our life now is integrated with.
You're freaking me out, Cara.
Sorry, but
Freaking me out.
It's integrated with the phones, and
Yeah.
it's so wild because
Yeah, it is wild.
if we think about how many of our social interactions, and even we're talking about friendships, how much of our friendships rely on social media now?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because if you look at Yuma as a small community, like just think of it as a social experiment. Okay, insert phone, insert Instagram, insert all these human hashtags and all the local human Instagram accounts. All these people are connected. They're keeping tabs on each other's business, on each other's workouts, blah, blah, blah. Wait, we see these people every day.
Yeah, why do you need to... Yeah.
And then how many issues can arise from maybe the avatar of you being spread around on social media, or the digital version of our world? That's essentially what it is.
Well, yeah.
And we can't control that sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I mean, I've had conversations with you about, the along the lines of like your identity on social media. Like you almost feel pressure to like keep up with like a certain look and vibe. Like you feel like you need to be a certain way because, of your social media. I've been having a lot of issues with social media lately. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's been more negative than positive.
Oh man.
I know, dude, and
What
it's
a
kind of
bummer.
it's fucking shitty. But that's my own problem. Like it has nothing to do with anything else. But like I catch, and this is one of the same thing. Like this on the same vein of like when I catch myself talking negatively about people, I realize there's something. It's not that. It's something else. Like even when I go online, like I get resentful of people, and like I don't like shit that I see. I'm like, bro, I need to get off of this thing. Like it's only negativity because it's. Like what you said, it's just it's not real, and it can just be a world that that can really mess with your psyche, because it's just hard to manage sometimes. Like, and I don't know what my solution is for managing it other than just like staying away, but like it can really fuck with your head, to be honest, because like the biggest thing is the comparison.
That's a tough one.
And I do that. That's like one of my biggest things is like the comparison. Like as I get online, like I look at other people's lives, and and I look at what other people are doing, and then I directly compare it to like what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm not treating this healthy, And that's when I realize like, oh, I gotta step away, because same thing. Like if I catch myself thinking those negative thoughts, then there's something else I need to address, whether if it's my own thing or getting off this thing or managing it, but. It is what you make of it, and I sometimes I feel like, especially at this moment in my life, I don't go in with the bbest intentions, which is not great. Hold on, I gotta...
Yeah, sure.
Keep talking.
No worries. Yeah, I have a couple thoughts on that, because you bring up some really good points. Sometimes you see something, and then for whatever reason, it conjures up a negative thought in your head. And what do you do with those negative thoughts?
Yeah, and then you take that, and then you talk to somebody else about it, and you're like, maybe like your significant other, like your friends, and you're like, did you see what so and so did on fucking social media? It's like, bro, that's just not even real.
Right.
And even that, it's like it's just as bad as gossip.
And I think it's because I've tried to find the solution to that. I can relate to those thoughts.
Yeah.
But the answer is not, okay, I'm signing off the social media, shutting it down, deleting it, done. It's not. We just have to accept that's part of real life now.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think it's more about, how do we draw boundaries? How do we put social media into a healthy context?
Yeah, how do we do that, Cara?
Yeah, and how do we set proper expectations? We're not, it's a good practice to not have expectations of people.
Yeah.
But for example, if you're the kind of person that posts every day and you're posting about, 50 different things on your story, you stop, people think you just jumped off a cliff.
Dude.
or fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is.
And that can fuck with your psyche. You're like, oh no, I got to keep up, or else X, Y, Z are going to think, oh, I fell off, or this. It's like, and it sucks because it is like a double-edged sword, because somebody like in my position, it is like, not even mine, but just if your business is on social, if you have a business, you're on social media. It's a double-edged sword because you got to pay to play. you have to engage and you have to do certain things on social media. But I think you're right. It's that those setting those boundaries and that disconnection. And it's odd because as I say this out loud, it seems like a given. But this shit is way harder than
It's so integrated with their lives, and people, there are a lot of people, like, for them, this is their livelihood.
Yeah.
And it should be taken seriously. This
Yeah.
can make or break a person these days.
dude, 100%.
And especially in this community where, if you post something on Instagram, like say you start a new business, like you're going to get a lot of love for it. That's the way this community is. But by the
Yeah.
same token, if something goes wrong or whatever, people start spreading cheese about it.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. But I'm going to reference two people
I like
about this topic. Bailey Arviso.
Shorty?
Yeah, Shorty.
I love Shorty. What's up, Shorty?
So his commentary on social media is whatever you do, it has to be sustainable.
True. Yeah,
So
100%.
I think that's a good way of drawing a boundary. Like, what can you do? Because whether we like it or not, people do have expectations. And how do we
Yeah.
manage those expectations, especially if it's a business profile or we have clients or, that use it to communicate?
Yeah.
Bailey knows all about that. And I think that was such a profound thing to say, like, it has to be sustainable. Okay, so that means maybe a post a day isn't sustainable for some people. Maybe it's a post a week, or
Yeah.
maybe it's a few stories a week.
And that sustainability is going to be different for each person.
Absolutely.
And at different points in their lives as well. Yeah.
And then to kick it up a notch, oh, sorry. I
No,
cut
you're
you
good.
off.
Go for it. No, you're good.
My good friend Sarah Kem, your neighbor.
I love Sarah.
She's absolutely
She's a
phenomenal.
good time.
You got to have her on the podcast.
I'm so down.
Both she and Will are always a good time.
Dude, yeah. I would love to.
They're going to become downtown kings. I just know it. Next 2 years.
Probably. I always see they're another group of people like yourself who have moved to Yuma and have totally totally integrated
embrace it.
themselves. They embrace
Yeah,
it. Yeah, that's the word
for
I was looking for.
sure.
They totally embrace the culture.
Totally.
Continue.
Yes, absolutely. So her thing is, I just love what she said. So I'm going to swear, but it's the way.
Cara, just swear.
I just want to keep it authentic.
Cara, just swear. Come on, dude. Just be naughty.
All right. So just to keep it authentic and to not butcher her quote, basically
Yeah.
she said, "Where would you be if Instagram took a big shit tonight?"
Yeah.
It's a valid
Dude,
question.
100%.
Some people might really be hurting. They might not
Dude.
know what to do with themselves.
Can we hold that thought?
Yeah, let's think about
I gotta
that.
piss.
Yeah, enjoy.
on.
I hope everything comes out all right.
Hey, thanks a lot. Maybe once every 2 months, I realize how happy I am that I'm Mexican for words like chorizote. But I don't say chorizote, but I think it's great. Okay, I'm back. I had to pee like a chihuahua. I have like the worst fucking bladder, dude. It sucks, dude. I feel like these podcasts would be way better if I didn't have to pee so much.
You know,
I'm gonna tether a hose
Yeah.
to my chorizote. Just so I could sit here and pee at the same time, dude. It sucks. Maybe because I had coffee, I had water, and now I'm drinking a Fit Aid.
a Fit Aid.
It's because I have this shit, dude.
Cheers.
Salad. To my pal.
Salad.
Yeah.
Salad.
I knew this was gonna be fun.
Oh man, I'm trying not to blast the microphone.
So, it's okay.
Oh,
So back to what Sarah was saying.
yeah.
Sorry. I'm still like a one-man show here.
It's all good.
Before it was you back there telling me what to do, and now I have to do it all myself. But it's fine. It's either I do this or I don't do it. So Sarah, she said, where would everybody be if Instagram took a giant shit?
Yeah, it was a very personal question. She's like, "Where would you be if Instagram took a big fat shit?"
These are the conversations I need to be having on the daily. Like I feel like not myself.
Yeah.
Because like you remember how often we were having these conversations?
Every day.
Every fucking day. And my mind was firing on all cylinders, dude, and I loved it. I felt like a stone. Like nothing could penetrate this thing. And now I feel like anything can just
But I think
All
it's
the
all
time.
but it's all part of growing because you were like that in that environment. You had grown to adapt to that environment and you were strong in that environment. But look, this is 2020. The world could be ending as far as we know. Like how much has changed in just 2020? The circumstances, the environment has changed. So
yeah, you're very right.
you just gotta it's time to
Thanks
level
for
up.
talking me off the ledge.
Yeah, it's
I
time
feel
to
like a
level
little
up.
ficus trying to grow in cement.
That's another word I learned.
Ficus?
In Yuma, the ficus plant. It sounds like such a dirty word.
You ficus.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you called someone that on the playground? They would cry.
You little ficus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, a
baby.
little kid. Oh goodness, yeah.
I want to go back to that Sarah thing though.
Yeah.
Because that was a big one. I wanted to go to the bathroom because I felt like this is going to be a good segue, but she's right. Like that, those type of thoughts are like thoughts that that I miss thinking about. Because to challenge yourself and think that way is like I think about it for me, right? And then you think about it, what everybody's answer is different. Like it's such a important question to ask yourself, especially with social media and your phone and technology that can be arguably, and this may be a little intense to some people because some people are way better at it than others, but for me, I feel like I almost have to treat it like a legit drug, like almost the same way that I treat alcohol or like treat food. Like my relationship with all those things is different. So I need to establish like what my relationship is with social media, because it can get like toxic that way, because you do think about what Sarah said is like, well, where would you be with, right now at this moment if it got stripped? Mm-hmm. Like you think about what people do when like their Wi-Fi's down, they start to have a fucking panic attack.
Oh,
They start freaking out. Like I know I do for a little bit, but then after a while, I feel like, what's weird is I feel like when the internet's off, or I freak out for a second, and then I just start to like settle in, and then I almost feel like, oh, maybe this is like who I really am, like without the social media.
Yeah.
Because like I think about back in the day, like I used to just draw 24/7. Jared makes fun of the way I say draw.
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine too. You
Yeah.
fucking get the gist, dude. You get the gister. But like those things, like what do you fill your day with when you're not on your phone? Because like we all know what happens. We open up our phone, we text that person back, which is like maybe good or bad. No, there's no good or bad. Healthy or unhealthy.
There we
as
go.
our friend Joe Umbrella would say.
Joe Umbrella,
I
human
miss-
equation.
I miss Joe.
Hope we all's one Salt Lake City. Yeah.
But how he would say healthy or unhealthy.
Yeah.
But then that leads to Instagram. And then you're on Instagram and you're scrolling. And that can either lead to like time. You're not timing yourself. And then you're on your phone and then someone's like, dude, what are you doing on social media? It's like, shut the fuck up. I'm just on social media. But then next thing you know, you're on social media and then you could be, and it could spark, it's not always negative, it's all how your relationship is and your intention going in. But you can see something, you can compare yourself to somebody, you can become bitter, you can see something negative, or, or that anything, something can happen. And then, or even time, you're on there for too long. And, and then next thing you know, you're down a rabbit hole on YouTube. And then next thing you know, 2 hours went by when you could have been doing something else.
For sure.
When, when just the art of daydreaming or just zoning out, like, I don't remember the last time I just zoned out.
I think that's missing from day-to-day society.
Just zoning out and thinking
Yes.
and just thinking about nothing sometimes. And not even
Yes.
saying nothing is unproductive, but just letting your mind, just like the same way meditation would as you would. Dude, I remember being in elementary school and literally just looking somewhere and just zoning out, not thinking about
too.
shit. You remember
Yes.
that? And it's so hard to do that now.
Yeah.
Because like now if I were just to sit somewhere, like even if I sit in here, I'm like my mind goes, I'm like, maybe I should check my DMs, or maybe I should check my messages and get back to people about like invoices or quotes or blah, blah, blah. Like it doesn't stop. And like,
Right.
or even like, maybe I should be doing that. It's always something I should be doing. But maybe sometimes like what you should be doing is nothing.
Yes.
Oh my God, I bet you there's people that are listening to this right now and they're just like, you lazy fuck.
No,
Do something.
Honestly, I totally relate to what you're saying, because it's like defragmenting your computer, or like even the way your phone works. So like
Yeah.
I have a tendency to take a lot of pictures for absolutely nothing.
I love your
For
photos.
absolutely no reason.
No,
And-
it's for a reason.
And honestly, like I don't even post probably a quarter of what I take. I have hundreds, thousands of photos.
Yeah.
Short story is, if you don't unload your phone, if you don't give it enough empty space for it to work with, it's not
Yeah.
going to work very well.
Yeah.
So you need to,
Overloading your hard drive, huh?
yeah, like the T-Mobile tech told me I need to be at 15% less of my max capacity, just completely empty, just so that my phone can operate well. I think likewise, the human mind is the same way. We need that white space time. We need that blank time, just for thoughts to organize, just to give maybe like like a launch pad for ideas.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
don't give yourself like a clean canvas of a mind
Yeah.
to start with, how can you possibly get your tasks done?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like even just cloud watching, just sitting and watching the clouds. A lot of people don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I did that.
Yeah. I think that's why I love like being unplugged. And in the past few weeks, that's what totally
Yeah.
broke me of the Instagram addiction. And it happens every few months where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is unhealthy. I got to cut myself off. I'm becoming a little less extreme with it because I mean, I realize I can't completely cut it out.
Yeah.
My livelihood is attached to this as a barber.
Yeah.
So I've got to check my messages. But I think it's so healthy, like just to be outside and just use all five senses to just take in your environment, not something that you can't even see. Like,
Yeah.
like
This is real.
This is real.
Yoda's
Exactly.
real.
Yoda's baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda's so real. Everything, this experience right now is the only thing that is real. Nothing, not what happened earlier, and not even what's going to happen later. This
Right.
is the only thing that's real right now.
Right.
This is the place to be.
Absolutely.
And
And I think of the game of telephone.
Yeah, I fucking, dude. Go ahead.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you already know what I'm about to say. Like everything, it's a childhood game, but it's the way life plays out. You hear one thing or one thing plays out, and the more you replay it, the more twisted and the more corrupt it gets. You know, whether
Yeah.
that's on social media or it's a story. If
Yeah.
you didn't see it,
Didn't happen.
maybe it didn't happen.
And that's sometimes I feel like that's almost a better place to be if your relationship is unhealthy with social media. And honestly, maybe I'm being a little bit more negative about social media right now because it has made my livelihood for sure. But the same way that like I said, the same way that, food is essential, you can't gorge yourself in pizza every single day. The same thing with social media is like it is a necessity, but with moderation. And maybe my experience with it is just negative.
Well, I'll tell you what, from personal
moment.
experience, and I'm not sure where you are, but I just think where I get into trouble is when I go to Instagram or social media and I'm doing it mindlessly.
Oh, you don't even know what you're doing? Dude.
No intention. Just on autopilot, scroll. And then I'm like, this is disgusting. Like
What am I doing?
I'm silently passing judgment and just waiting for the thing that jumps out at me. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, someone's picture of a dog, I just scrolled through that. Like, that's important.
Do I really care? And then you're just like,
But it's really like at what other point in human civilization have we had access to millions
Press
and
up.
millions and millions of
okay,
human
here you go.
beings?
That way.
Oh, that way. Okay.
There you go.
Of human beings and their ideas and their thoughts and opinions. I
Yeah.
mean, what do you do with that? It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I know that humans are built to evolve and adapt. It's what we do, to survive. But part of me wonders, the brain or whatever that spiritual side of humans is, like, are we really equipped to handle? Do we have the capacity to handle millions of thoughts, emotions, opinions, and ideas?
No.
I don't think so either.
And maybe that's what we're doing right now, like this podcast and having conversations around it is like a solution for us. I know it is for me, like, because, without me, we've had plenty of conversations about, our personalities is like you and I are very similar. Like we need to talk about shit. Like I need to get stuff out of my brain in a vocal form and exchange the idea and hear like feedback. Not necessarily like an echo chamber, but just put it in the universe,
Yes, the mental gymnastics.
Yeah, yes, that's probably what I'm going to name this episode. Exactly, the mental gymnastics of it, because like that is so fun because you can take an idea, rip it apart with no bias, and put it back together, and you have your opinion and your your point of view based
For
on
sure.
that. But unless you put it on the table, rip it apart, it's just somebody else's idea. You have to take it, rip it apart, almost like clay.
Yeah.
The clay itself is like society's idea, and then you rip that shit apart, put it back together into your own idea. And that shit's fun, and maybe that's how we find our own solution with this. But without it, those conversations with people or even yourself, like writing or anything, like it's hard to understand like how to even cope with all of it. And it's even more enhanced now because of COVID and everything. People were inside, less people were like at work, and thankfully now, things are slowly starting to open up again. But even then, it's like people work from home, and it's so easy to just get on another widget or another tab to like a different website and just easily get distracted. It's like, I think about that. Remember, I constantly, not constantly, because otherwise I'd be good at it, but I try to visualize that scene in Star Wars. Remember when we went hiking on the B-17 hike?
Okay.
And I was telling you about Rey from Star Wars, and then
Yes.
she's sitting there, and then she's fucking trying to summon the Force, and shit starts floating, but she starts thinking about like the water, the rocks, and she sees it, and then things start floating. But then she sees like
Right.
a really dark place, and then shit starts freaking out, and then everything explodes.
Yeah.
Like shit can get out of hand real fast.
For sure.
It's crazy, dude. Being a human's
crazy.
hard. It is like at the end of the day, it can be very easy, but like like right now, especially life can be very complex because there's a lot of unknowns.
There are a lot of unknowns.
Scary.
Yes. Yes. And like you're saying, like, I'm just gonna say it. I think being human is hard.
Yeah.
I think if you are someone that tries to be open-minded, and if you are someone that is empathetic, you care, you take on other people's thoughts and feelings almost as if they're your own. If you're a caring, nice person,
Yeah.
basically.
If you're not a piece of shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not a selfish person,
Yeah.
man, life is hard. If you are a stoic,
Yeah.
emotionless, selfish person, how easy life would be.
You have to find that right in between of that.
Balance.
That shit's
Yeah.
hard, dude. Yeah,
For
because
sure.
at times you need to be stoic and selfish and at times, but then there is other times to be, empathetic. It's like it's a constant adjustment, and nobody's great at it, And I think as soon as you think that you're great at it, I feel like people will decide that for you in a way.
Absolutely.
Like when you're around people, and that's why friends are great, and loved ones and people that you trust, because, if you told me one day, dude, you're being a real piece of shit,
I would never
or
say
yo, I know.
unless you really were, but I might not use those words.
I feel like you would, if you were to tell me I was a piece of shit, you would say it so under your breath. You'd be like, you're being a real piece of shit. Car, just say it. What'd you say? Shit. You mean shit? Yeah. Yeah, you would never tell me that. You would probably give me like a really yeah, I don't know how you would say it, but I would trust that you would tell me something like that,
Likewise.
And I've had,
Yeah.
for real. And we've had actually, we've had to tell it. It's not easy, dude. And I've had friends like in the past year tell me that, I'm not being a certain way. And it's never anybody else's fault. It's only my own, because, with inevitably life is suffering. Things are going to happen.
Yes.
People, that's like a negative thing, but that's like what Jordan Peterson says, and he's one of my favorite psychologists, as you know. But
Yes.
life is suffering, and that is inevitable, and it's how you can carry that energy with you, and suffering isn't challenges. You're always going to face challenges. That's inevitable. It's not always going to be dandy, and it's
Right.
how you react to those challenges and how you carry that energy. And I had been carrying negative energy, and people told me, which is great, and I appreciate that, and that's what friends are for, and but it's all it's all about your actions.
Yes, and also I want to bring up a point about that.
I like points.
I'm not saying this just to be positive. Like I really want to tell you this from the bottom of my heart, just the way it is. If that many people told you that
Yeah.
and you took it to heart,
Yeah.
I think it's because you are a safe person. And I know that it's a buzzword these days,
I
but
like buzzwords.
but you create a safe space for them to be honest with you. 'Cause
Yeah.
how many people go throughout life without friends or without people that are genuine and can tell them, hey, you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe you're not making the best decisions right now. Have you considered this, or that?
Yeah.
How many people have friends like that? And if you're saying like,
Not all of them, yeah.
more than one,
Yeah.
most people just have one really good friend throughout their lifetime. If you had more than one, people that went out of their way to care about you and say that, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, with that, always take it with a grain of salt because everyone's
Yes.
always speaking from their own
You have to-
experiences and their
yes.
own suffering, their own frame of mind.
Yeah.
So, but basically, I think it's cool that people you're approachable. Is what I'm saying.
Tried to be.
If you were a jerk, people wouldn't talk to you. They wouldn't
Yeah.
try to come up to you and recommend these changes to your life. you know?
Yeah. Try to be. Like my mom was always that person for people, because people trusted her with information. And My mom's a little cheese ball too sometimes, but she can cheese it up. But you know, if it's something serious, like people always feel comfortable coming to my mom and to trust that my mom wouldn't like spread that shit in the negative, you know, and that was huge. And I think that's like my thing too, is like I get very trustworthy with people, and like I feel like I can tell people shit, but maybe not all the time. And I had to learn that the hard way, dude. Because I feel like I can trust anybody, which sucks. And like as I get older, I'm like, maybe not. And not even in a negative way, but just like, you know, you just learn. You just learn. And, you know, sometimes being that vulnerable, you can get stabbed in the back is like a very harsh way to say it.
Yeah.
Ugh, it felt weird to say.
Yeah.
But, you know, people can use your information any way that you'd want. Because, like you said, like people have different opinions, people have different walks of life, people have different points of views, and not everybody's in your situation. And so someone's always gonna have something to say, you know. And that's the thing, though, is like only at the end of the day, only you know, what's the truth and such. But it is good to have friends like that because, you know, like you said, the most important thing is like taking it with a grain of salt because, you know, anything that you would tell me, I would always take into consideration. You know,
Appreciate that.
Always. Yeah.
Likewise.
Absolutely. But that stuff's earned, you know, anything that like Steven would say, I always take into consideration. Sometimes I take things personally, not just from him. Like at times I take things personally, but that's only like a sign to myself is like, oh, you need to check yourself because you're taking something personal right now. Like that's not your fault or that person's fault. That's my fault. Like that I'm taking something personally, you know, and yeah, it's interesting. Being a human can be hard. Especially like when, you know, you are vulnerable, you know, with people. And I know me, like, you know, I'm very much that way too, but you never know if you don't try. Like you can't be shelled off your whole life. Or otherwise you kind of, I feel personally that, you know, you hoard yourself of great experiences when you're closed off and you're shelled off, you know, because like, I don't know, I feel like being open and free and vulnerable, like you can experience a lot of shit. I mean, it is like a tidal wave sometimes, I feel, you know, because you when you're that open and you're that vulnerable, you can lead yourself to ridicule and like for judgment. That was kind of the thing with even now with the podcast is like you put everything out there, but I feel like it's the detachment of, you know, that stuff. Like when this goes out in the world, like it's easier with podcasts, I feel. And, you know, maybe because it's not face to face with people, but even then, like even conversations that, you know, most of the time when there's like issues, like it's never face to face. It's always some cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
so true.
it's interesting, dude. Honestly, I didn't think this conversation was going to go this way. I was like, wow. Not even that I had an expectation, but I was like, it's fun. I just knew we were going to have a good conversation.
It's always a good time.
I know. I didn't mean to take that like a weird personal route, but I don't know. It's easy to have these conversations with you because you're one of my best friends, and like likewise with you, and like my best of friends I can have these conversations with. But
thank you.
It's fun. It was missed. Like I feel like we haven't had a conversation like this in a long time.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, I know it's because like I'm not people. I hate when I say that. But just life is weird right now, and the focus is on a lot of people is survival. You know, so this is like a fun exercise personally.
For sure.
Just the like you said, mental gymnastics. It's funny because like the last question I remember you asking you was like your hiking shit, and then we went all the way over here.
Yeah. Well, actually, just to springboard off of what you said earlier.
I like springboards.
I had a thought.
I like thoughts.
The pace of communication these days is crazy.
What do you mean?
We have a word for it. When something goes viral. A thought, idea, a meme, a video.
Yeah.
And back in the day, I mean, could you imagine if you got really emotional about something and something really made you mad?
Yeah.
And say you wanted to make sure your thoughts were heard. You would have to write a letter to the newsletter, probably, or newspaper.
I'm going to write a letter.
The act of taking paper out, getting your quill and dipping it in the ink, scratching the stuff out, folding it, putting it in the envelope.
Yeah.
Put a stamp on it, wait for the snail mail for it to arrive at the newspaper office. I mean, that whole act of it, maybe
Dude.
you would have cooled off.
Yeah,
by
I was
then.
gonna say by the
You know
time
what
it
I
gets
mean?
by the time it gets to the person, you're like, fuck, I don't know if I really meant that.
Yeah, right.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. That was kind of like the nice thing about, like, there's times where like Alexis and I will get into like an argument, and then because there's text messages, I feel like I need to say something right away. You know what
There's
I mean?
no urgency. There's no
Yeah,
timeline.
like what the fuck? Like, and I hate that. Not even just her, but like with people or like with friends, if you get in a dispute with somebody, like you feel the urge to need to say something right away. When if you just give shit time, I was talking to Alexis about this maybe a couple of days ago. I was like, you know what I took for granted was like the act of sleeping something off.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know that people used to say that it's like just sleep it off.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
sleep on it.
Yeah.
You know, and some people are like, I can't do it until I fully resolve it. Blah blah blah. You know, but I mean, it is easier said than done. It's like because I know me personally, like I do hold on to a lot of shit when I sleep, and it fucks with my sleep. But like most of the time, if something's bothering me and I just sleep and I wake up, I forget about it. I'm like, oh yeah, what? I guess it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree with that. It's so weird because now I feel like we need to address shit right away, which is like, I think about earlier when we were like, oh yeah, we need to talk about stuff, you know, and maybe it doesn't need to be right away, but yeah, eventually a conversation needs to, things that are important need to happen. Sometimes it needs to be right now or else, you know, it's time passed by and it never happens. And that little dragon becomes a big dragon and then it's impossible to slay.
Yes, that's true.
She can get out of hand real fast.
Yeah, man. I think that's the good and bad thing about time. Like, there's such a duality to it. We treat time like it's our greatest enemy, which it can be.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, like, you know, they call it a tactical pause in the military. When you just pause, just think before you act.
Oh, that's real?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It's called a tactical pause?
Tactical pause.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and
I didn't know that.
we don't really do that these days. Everything with the way we communicate, everything going digital.
Yeah.
I think in a way we've sped up time. We've created these artificial timelines for ourselves. Oh, someone sent me a text. I need to reply back right away. Well, what am I doing then? I'm responding to someone else's assumption or expectation of me.
Yeah.
And so something I've been trying to think about lately is how can I de-escalate someone's expectations of me? Because I feel that. Like I can, maybe I'm just overly sensitive, but I can feel it when someone expects something from me or there's something I have to live up
and
to.
It's most of the time it's in our heads, right?
Yeah,
like,
and it's not a good feeling. Sometimes
No.
it's good when you want to feel that is maybe when you need an adrenaline rush, like you're going into a competition or a race, and you
like
need
this
to be on your A
motherfucker
game.
thinks he's gonna beat me?
Yeah, like
This motherfucker thinks he's gonna win?
exactly. You want your mental game to be sharp, but that's
Yeah.
not sustainable. You can't be like that
All
every
the
time.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, how can I de-escalate or create this expectation of me? You know, like, okay, that means I will post less on Instagram. That means I am not going to make myself available to my phone. I have to remind myself, what are my priorities? My priorities are to my husband, my dogs, to health, to good things, family, friends, and not necessarily in that
Yeah.
order, but I know what my priorities are. And through all my stumblings and hard times, I think I am just starting to understand what my priorities are for myself. And I think that's how we draw boundaries with social media and digital communication. Like sometimes, and especially if there's a really incendiary topic you're discussing, maybe it's just time to take a tactical pause. You know what? The timeline that my phone gives me, maybe it doesn't matter right now. What
Yeah.
it needs is just time.
Yeah.
So
I like that. The tactical pause thing. I never thought about that. And you can apply it, you know. I now feel like I'm just gonna run around whenever I need a second, be like, hold on, tactical pause.
there you go.
There we go. Tactical pause. Well, it's almost like taking a breather, right? It's like, okay, I need to take a breather. I need to sit down and just breathe for a second. I was
Yeah.
actually talking to Jared before the podcast today because I was telling him, you know, with like the whoops, it's let me make sure we're good here.
Oh yeah, sure.
With the whoop, it's nice because the day strains and stuff, and it tells you where you're at. Fucking yesterday, I went to the gym, and it was about like I think 5, and as I was driving to the gym, I checked my whoop. I was already like at a 12-day strain,
Wow.
and at 5. And for people that don't know, like 20 is like the highest, right? So 20, I was already at 5. I haven't even worked out. I was already at a 12-day strain, and I was like, what the fuck? So then I was thinking about it, and I was like, dude, sometimes I get strained from just doing nothing sometimes, and I'm like, dude, that's not good. Like, I need to breathe.
Yeah.
Like, and I was telling him one of the nice things I liked about the Apple Watch was like how it has the like breathe thingy.
Oh yeah.
And
it
I was like, I
does.
feel like I used to be so good at it. And he's like, it's probably because you had it on and you were practicing it and you didn't realize you were probably, he was saying you had been practicing it, so you didn't even think about it. But now that I don't have it, I'm like, fuck, I feel like I suck at it because I'm not practicing it. And I was like, and it's interesting because I would have never known this stuff without having the Whoop on, but how much strain and stress like you cause on your body by, not paying attention to your breath or just letting your thoughts get out of hand or just not taking a tactical pause, stuff like that. It's interesting that
It's so true.
it's weird. It's weird that, it's cool that you brought that up because I was having that conversation with Jared today and
Oh gosh, I always get a nugget of wisdom from Jer.
negative wisdom.
Oh, a nugget of wisdom.
Oh, he's funny, dude. He'll surprise you.
He's so
He
real.
fucking surprises you.
He can be facetious with his humor, but he catches me off guard because he'll give me a dose of realness, and I'm like, I'm gonna take that nugget and run with it.
He's one of those people that I'm very lucky to have around because I know if I'm being a dick to Jer, then something's wrong with me. For real. I mean, that should be with anybody. Like, but Jer's never once said anything negative to me, and most of my friends, right? But Jer, I'm around a lot. Jer's never said anything negative to me. Never put me down. I mean, he shits on me a lot, but that's because we're boys.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's never anything negative to say. So like if I'm being a dick to him or being resentful towards him, you know how many times I've had to apologize to Jared in the last year because I felt like I was being an asshole to him.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, I don't know if I was
think
being.
you're mean or an a-hole.
No,
I'm just
like a fucking crank sometimes. Yeah. And but with him, I think it's because like I'm an emotional fuck.
I think sometimes you're anxious about being anxious.
Yeah. I'm like, am I anxious right now? I don't know. But Jared always says, he's like, bro, you he always tells me, he's like, dude, you just love to stress. And I'm like, I don't love it, but I feel like it's part of not stress, but I just have like this energy, and if I don't use it in a positive way, it turns into anxiety. So I need to use it, and maybe I just realized that about myself right now.
Ooh.
Maybe that's what it is.
You're so funny.
Shit.
How are you? Oh, man.
Ba 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 da da. Jared, what?
Jared taught me something important.
Another thing?
When it comes to eating hot Cheetos. It's important.
Okay, what do you say?
All right. So,
Jesus Christ. What do you say?
That almost sounded British, like, oh, crikey.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, what do you say?
So,
About?
He taught me how to eat hot Cheetos with the hot sauce.
Yeah, how do you?
There's a specific technique to rolling the bag. Because you know how when you get the jumbo bag, you have to reach your hand in?
Oh, and you get that shit all over your hands?
Exactly, so you roll it. Do you know how important that is?
Only a round boy like you. That's a round boy technique, dude.
It was essential because I started putting hot sauce on my Cheetos since I got to Yuma.
Yeah.
It's such a good tip.
It's an
life hack.
essential.
He needs to write a book of life hacks. He's got some good ones. Life hacks of a round boy.
Yeah, exactly. There's a hack app I heard from a podcast where if you order a pizza from Pizza Hut, you tell them you want fresh mozzarella and you get like a fresh pizza. Other than like them getting like a hot and ready one and giving it to you, they have to make that shit.
It's like ordering fries without salt at McDonald's.
Yeah, then you get fresh fries, dude.
Yeah.
Cool. We both had to pee like chihuahuas.
Yes, we did.
Jesus Christ, dude. This is bad news, dude.
Hey, it's human life. You got to be well hydrated or hydrate or die,
dude,
basically.
I am always have something that I'm drinking. But it's never enough water.
Never.
Yeah, like you have a water. I mean, mine's down here, but I don't think I sipped it once. I like smashed my coffee and drink a Fit Aid. But I don't know how long we've been going, dude. I feel like it might have been 2 hours, but it feels like it's only been like 15 minutes.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun, they say.
Dude. This is. I don't want to end. We don't have to end right now, but
yeah.
I forgot what we were talking about before this.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Me neither.
I've
Maybe
done
we should go back to the original thing we were gonna talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. What were we
which
gonna
is
talk
like
about?
I mean, we didn't have an agenda.
Oh, okay.
But I
Yeah, right.
remember I was asking you about your hiking and shit.
Mm.
Well, that was like a big reason I wanted to have you on. But I think
Mm-hmm.
I think after the last hour and a half, people realize why I like having you as a friend, just because the conversations and your perspective are one of a kind.
Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
very generous. Very
You're welcome.
humbling.
But the hiking stuff, like we'll get back to like the beginning. Like I'll reiterate, like your enthusiasm for the city has been really cool and inspiring for people that are here because it reminds us like what a unique little area we're in. And
Mm.
Yuma specifically, like to be equal distance from two mega cities, Phoenix and San Diego, like our whole lives, like in Yuma, it's always about, wanting to be somewhere else, like
Mm.
wanting to be in, wanting to go to Phoenix to go see a Cardinal game or just to be in a big city or going to San Diego to see the beach when we have so many beautiful things here, like hiking and being outdoors and, especially like, during the seasons that we're going into right now. During the summer, it's kind of a shit show. But other than that, like, being around you, like seeing your perspective and you coming here and like being so enthusiastic about like you're aggressive with like the hiking too. You're like, okay, we're going at 6 a.m, and almost every other day we're like, fuck, dude, I'm tired. Like it's been rad. I think I was asking you about like hiking with the dogs and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that might be a good one to get into. Yeah, like your experience with the dogs because you can say as much as you want about it, but
Mm-hmm.
getting Rocky from B Word.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? I remember now where we left off. You asked me if I did a lot of hiking before coming to Yuma. I
Oh
think that
yeah.
was your question.
Oh, your dad.
Yeah, yeah.
Your rad dad.
Yeah, my dad loves being active, loves being outdoors.
And your CrossFit mom.
Yep, my CrossFit mom. That's right.
Cheers, babe.
Actually, she started doing CrossFit when I left for the Marine Corps, and I guess it was her way of
Dealing with it?
dealing with my absence. So it was like all the friends, the community I had at that CrossFit, she kind of took on as her own,
Aw.
which is so awesome. So
Mom sounds like a sweetie.
yeah, shout out to CrossFit Bridgewater Gladiators.
Your mom's
Yeah.
there right now?
Mm-hmm.
Probably snatching.
Yeah, exactly.
Oopsies. Okay, you were saying about your mom snatching 135 pounds?
Oh, I don't know how much she snatches these days, but yeah, she loves to be active too. Yeah, so I went from there to joining the mountaineering club.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
Mountain Cold Weather Company, run by Army ROTC. It was run by a super Bamf guy that was
Bad motherfucker.
yeah, bad ASS mother
Effer.
effer. Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, I had so many good experiences. The 4 years I was at that school, I always look forward to winter because we'd spend the fall training up,
Yeah.
like just tying knots, tying rope systems, rappelling.
So you know how to do all
climbing.
that?
I'm a little rusty,
Yeah.
but I mean, I could do it
Tie a
again.
wicked knot.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was so great. And we'd go out to the White Mountains in the winter, camp out in the snow.
That sounds fun.
Crampons, cross country, alpine skis. So like with these, you ski uphill
What the fuck?
with a pack on.
How is that possible?
So there's these sticky things that you can put on the bottom of your skis. They're called skins.
Oh, okay.
So it'll glide when you're going up, but if you go against if you go backwards with the ski,
stick.
yeah, by friction.
Oh, shit.
It's kind of like Velcro, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's like brushed in a way so that it'll glide one way and it'll bite the snow in the other
Dude,
direction.
I've never heard of that shit.
It's interesting, and I don't recommend skiing uphill. I recommend taking a lift if you can.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Chairlift.
because there's no gravity. How do you go up? Like, do you have to like jump and like walk?
You
up?
just slide the ski.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah, so these are like
so you're sticking, moving.
yeah, these are like hybrid skis so that so you can lock the heel in if you want to do downhill skiing.
Yeah.
But you can also detach the heel and have the front toe hinge against the ski so you can actually cross country ski with it.
That sounds sick.
Yeah, it was amazing. Ice climbing. So yeah, that really like sparked my interest in mountaineering. Unfortunately, like the Marine Corps was a 4-year black hole of my life that I don't really remember. I'm just kidding. No, it was a good
You
time.
had your husband there.
Actually, no, I met him at school.
Oh yeah, that's right, huh?
Yeah.
You did.
My
And he
senior
slid in
year.
your DMs. No, he didn't.
Actually, I didn't have. Oh my
You didn't have
gosh.
social media then, huh? That's real love, dude.
Wait, I had a Facebook, but I didn't know about Instagram back then.
Oh shit.
Oh my gosh, life before Instagram.
That was a good
Oh,
life,
that's a
dude.
whole different
That's a good
topic.
life. Where you'd have to like you'd have to be on a computer to be on social media.
I was such a Facebooker. Like
Really?
I'd take pictures of every single hike, and then I'd always deactivate my profile before like an exam. And
Oh, I
then
see that.
and then people would come up to me at school, they're like, Cara, like, or back then they called me Son. That's my maiden
oh, that's
name.
your
Yeah.
last. Yeah.
Yo, Son, like 200 of my tag photos disappeared. Hurry up and reactivate your account. I'm like, I gotta study.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
Back during the face, I actually don't know what Facebook is like. I haven't been on in years, so
Really?
I have no idea what it's like now.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's evolved so much now. Like businesses.
It's like a
have
lot
their
of news
page.
and like your tias complaining about shit that they shouldn't be complaining about.
Oh, gotcha. Actually, something I've heard about Yuma and Facebook.
Oh, let's hear it. These what?
The Facebook pages are wild and active and roaring with cheese.
Oh,
Roaring. Like
there's people talking shit.
I've had at least 3 clients this past week talk about these Facebook pages, how they're absolutely toxic, but they love to troll these pages.
Oh my god, these people need things to do.
For real.
They need more shit to do.
For real.
We were just talking about it on the way in the car, huh?
Funny. Yeah. So funny to me.
People
Oh,
need shit to do.
Yeah. But I'm wondering, like, what did people do before these things? That's when they would have a social, I don't know, a social.
They
at their
figure
house.
something out.
Tea party.
Yeah, call your friends. Can you play today?
Yeah.
Remember when you used to call your friends and ask them that? Did you ever do that? You grew up very differently than I did.
Yeah. I didn't call my friends.
Dude, I would religiously call my friends. I'd have to call my friends and ask them if I can play. and then I'd be able to go or not.
I didn't really have. I think my parents had us so focused and disciplined on school,
You were
piano lessons, church,
super
and
Korean.
super Korean, Asian tiger mom, pastor dad. So yeah.
Damn. I know. It's funny because I didn't know that about you until we were driving to Jester's that one day, huh?
Oh,
you were
really?
telling us. Yeah, you were telling us that. You told us you used to draw a lot, but then you couldn't do a lot of things because.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just remember the look of just utter pity and melancholy that just came over my dad's face when I told him I wanted to be an artist.
Oh yeah.
So he just made this face and he cringed and was like, "Oh, Cara, you're gonna be poor if you do that."
He's not wrong. Look at me, dude. I'm broke as fuck.
Oh no.
Just kidding.
But you are rich in love and friendships.
Oh, that's very sweet. That's too funny, dude. He for real bummed, but I'm sure he's hyped now. I mean, you found something that is very artistic, and you're fucking good at cutting hair.
Thank you. It's
Yeah, dude.
relatively new because it's about like a 2-year venture so far.
Yeah.
But even then, like my dad was sending me emails like, "Oh, Cara, check out this graduate school. You need to go back to school and get another degree." And I'm thinking, no, I'm good with school. I don't want to do school. I don't like school.
Does he have a hard accent like that?
Yeah,
Oh.
he retained a hard Korean accent. And Korean accents are different. Like it depends on what region you come from. But
Yeah.
my mother has said that he sounds at times more Swedish. Than,
Your dad?
Yeah, than like
Why?
the average. I don't know.
That's kinda weird.
It is weird. And also, it's kind of bastardized by the whole Boston accent thing. Because he's lived in Boston
He's
ever
like
since.
a shit show of accents.
Oh, yeah. He drops his R's and everything. It's unreal. Yeah.
I would love to have a conversation with your dad.
He's a very unique person.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a pillar in my life though. Definitely like a moral pillar. He's so consistent, so disciplined.
That immigrant mentality, dude.
For real. Nothing
Disciplined as
shakes
shit.
him. Nothing shakes him off
What
his
a
routine.
fucking gangster.
It makes him very hard to relate to,
Yeah.
but it's a great goalpost. I'm like, maybe one day I can achieve
It
that.
is kind of hard to relate to, huh? Like,
Extremely.
because for us, like our parents, I'm sure, same way, they wanted to do everything in their power so then we can have what we can do and have whatever we would like,
Mm-hmm.
right? That comes with a cost, of course, because now we do whatever we want, and it's hard for us to understand our parents or even them to understand us. It's like, oh, well, maybe do you not realize I can do all these things and I am so risky because, not that you'd have allowed me to, but because you've created this environment, which is a good creative environment to where I can explore. And it's not going to be maybe the way that they would like us to, but it's, exploration nonetheless. But like, even I would agree, like, it's hard to relate. Like, sometimes with my dad too, like, why he does certain things, because I don't even think he knows. Like, he just does shit, and like
Yeah.
all he knows is like hard work and just labor, and that's, it's it's the tangible action of, doing something physical, and that equates to like work.
Absolutely.
And then but he knows that, like, if I'm like here all day or in my room all day, like, I'm working. If I'm close the door, then that's me working. Like, I'm on my computer, I'm editing. But for like, for maybe like your dad or even my dad in the beginning, like, that was hard for him to understand, or for them to understand, is like, if you're not out there working, or even a lot of immigrant parents, or not even just immigrant, but just parents, it's hard to understand, like, oh, this is work. But even then, like, now it's all starting to get integrated, because people like my mom have to be like on the computer all the time now too, and she's learning. Yeah, it's weird, dude.
It is weird. It's really weird. Yeah, I think, yeah, like you said, maybe it's not just immigrant culture, but I think for people that have been in a survival situation, which I think my dad was, growing up in Korea, post-Korean War, there
Shit.
just wasn't a lot around. So part of him still has a refugee mentality. And
What a world, huh?
of course, he's never questioned that. His first thought is, oh, we need to go from point A to point B? Wait, first of all, why are we eating at a restaurant? We have food at home.
Yeah.
It's way cheaper. We can eat more. It's better.
Yeah.
Until my mom like kind of talks him down. It's like, well, the kids and the family really want to eat out. We're going out.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, everybody get into my Korean car. And then it's like, Dad, we have 9 people. Actually, I've never called him Dad. I call him Appa, which is Korean for
Oh,
dad.
really? It sounds like Mexican. It's like
Really?
apa.
Yeah. So he's like, we have like 9 people in the car seats. 7, comfortably 5.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no, 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 no. We go in one car. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, help,
You
please.
guys just shoved in there like sardines?
We used to when we were kids, and now we don't do that anymore. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
we
because
take
it's
multiple cars.
you, your younger sister.
I have 2 younger sisters, 1 little brother, and my sister is married.
Oh, so even like spouses all jump in the car.
Oh man, he will cram them all into the car.
That's kind of cool.
It's such a
I like that.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just
Yeah.
very resourceful. He thinks, okay, point A to point B, we're going to take the least amount of resources and do it in the most, resource saving way. So
Yeah.
like it's just one car, save gas, save money. It all makes sense to him, but
And
it's
that's
like,
just ingrained in him, huh?
yeah, for sure. Or it's
Shit.
like, why you left over your food?
You better eat that shit.
I'm like, cause I'm gonna get fat, and then of course it's like an Asian thing. God help you,
Yeah.
if you're like the fat one in the family. Like he would remind me, he's like, you need to go running. Always start your day with physical activity.
That's what he
Like,
said?
Oh yeah, he's like clockwork.
Dude, that
That's
sounds
my
tough.
dad. So yeah, it's just it's funny like growing up with that he's never questioned it. He's never
Yeah.
strayed from it, and it's worked for him.
Dude, I feel like Asians are more dialed in with like even their regiments, because I have there's this, I don't know if they're Korean, but I have this Asian family that lives on my block, and dude, every morning and every afternoon they're walking. They're walking. I'm leaving. They're coming back. Like, they're already done, dude. They're coming back, and they're walking, and they're so nice, and they're always outside, dude. I'm like, dude, these people are just embracing this. Like, they're doing what we should all be doing.
Yeah.
Everybody should be outside in the morning, like walking. But they have it down. There's not one day where they miss it though. Never seen them miss a day.
That's incredible.
Every single day, and she's always so nice, and she's fucking walking hard, dude. Wow.
Power walking.
And sometimes the wife will just leave the husband and she'll just go. Because most of the time the wife is like gone and the husband's like behind her, and I'm like, all right. And it's funny trying to think in my head like a scenario. I'm like, okay, 1 of 3 things could have happened. Either she said, fuck this, I don't want to wait for you, I'm leaving. 2, the old man's lazy, or like he's just not as physically fit as she is. But he's always behind. Like, they're never on the same pace. Or maybe the old man just like he's just walking around, he's enjoying like he's seen her, and the lady is just trying to get a fucking workout in, and he's just like, just go. But
Well,
every time.
That's incredible. She's a trailblazing Asian, and she goes full send.
Yeah, she's tight. She sounds a lot like you.
That's goals right there. I want to be like that.
Dude, she's tight. Just leave Ben. I don't think you'll ever do that. Ben's too much energy. I feel like he's going to be the one that's like in the front.
100%. Ben has way more energy than I do.
My guy is always on 10.
Yes,
He's a
he
good
is.
time,
Unless he's
dude.
asleep.
That guy sleeps? I feel like he sleeps hard, huh?
Sometimes he sleeps, and he sleeps very hard indeed.
Yeah,
Yes,
dude.
very heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
Unless I'm snoring, and he says.
I was going to say, I feel like he's a snorer.
He does snore too.
Yeah,
but
my guy.
I sleep heavier, so I don't wake up.
It's too funny.
Yeah.
So with the hiking stuff, with the mountaineering and stuff, like,
Yeah.
so you always had like a hiking background, the outdoorsy.
Yes.
So you know way more about the outdoors than I even imagined. Yeah.
I
Don't
think
say
with
no.
I think with winter mountaineering, yes,
Oh,
desert life is a
completely
new
different
terrain
landscape.
for
Yeah.
me, and so getting here, it was like, what? I don't have to drive 4 hours to get to the nearest mountain.
It's right there.
It's right there.
Or right there.
Exactly. And
It's
I
wicked.
was just, I think that's why I loved it so much, because I'm like, it's so accessible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's nobody here.
Keep
This
going,
is
make sure the camera's
amazing.
on.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I just loved how accessible it was, and how, man, it's just cool to be local, to keep it local. It's great. It's great to, go to a hike in Phoenix, or, drive and do that rad road trip, to
Yeah.
somewhere super cool. But there's also something really underrated about just keeping it local,
Yeah. I've never been on so many hikes in town until you and Critter. I don't want to just say you, because Critter, yeah, you're right.
He's
Critter
a
was
huge part of
dude.
it.
If it wasn't for Critter, last year would have never happened.
You're right. Full sendeth never would have been a thing. Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, because like
Exactly.
he took us to Jester's.
Mm-hmm.
He was because I went with him, and Jared and I went with him, and then you came along,
Yep.
and then we all started going,
Yep.
and then you found Pilot Snub,
Mm-hmm.
and we went on Pilot Snub, and then now like we have friends like Sal that are going to Pilot Snub, and then the B-17 I hadn't been on since I was a kid, and then I went with you, and then we went
Yeah.
with Alexis.
Shout out to Coos for that.
Oh, the Coos.
The
Yeah, shout out to the
Coos.
Coos, dude. Coos is a guy.
Oh man, what a wicked sense of humor.
I love the Coos.
And I mean wicked in a really, really good
He
context.
has a very unique sense of humor. I love the Coos.
Oh,
He always gives me a friendly Forrest Gump wave when I see him. He always goes like this.
I like that. And you know what? I don't think anybody pulls off Selena as gracefully as he does.
Better than Evelyn.
Ooh, and that's saying a lot too.
Yeah.
I
dude.
think Evelyn is definitely more beautiful, but Coos, I mean, the
It's debatable.
attitude, the attitude, the confidence.
Yeah, he holds it
the
way more.
swag.
And he has way more ass. Coos a thick boy, dude.
He is thick, and he also knows how to whip his hair back and forth.
He does. Did you see the stickers that he made?
I saw it in the bathroom.
So for people that don't know, our friend Coos dressed up as Selena one year. Or last year, huh?
Last year for
and
Halloween.
he made stickers of himself. He put it. I didn't get one, by the way, dude.
Oh yeah,
He's a guy, dude.
I
He
didn't-
he made us orderly pins.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I haven't got mine yet.
That's
Hopefully by the
so
time this
cool.
comes out, I haven't got mine. So I would show you one. I would actually give you one, but I don't have mine.
No worries.
Jared
no
always
worries.
forgets it, dude. Whatever, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always forgets it. But you got your Shutterwild pin.
A Shutterwild?
Yeah, you got one of these, didn't you?
No.
You didn't get one of these?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, it's okay. I don't. No hard feelings.
I do have
promise.
something for you. Hold on. You probably saw it.
Hopefully,
earlier.
it's like a safety pin or something. Wait, that's yours.
No, I already ate one. I bought that one for you. Because you're like the only other person in this planet that I know that likes Quest cookies like I do.
Wait, who doesn't love a Quest cookie?
Morons.
Yeah, this is like,
That's for you, Kara.
you're too kind.
Because you're the only other person in this universe that I know that likes Quest cookies as much as I do. And I
Oh
bought
my
one for you.
gosh, thank you. Wow,
You're
I'm
welcome,
gonna
dude.
cherish this and eat this after a good lift sesh.
Do you like peanut butter ones?
Love peanut butter.
Okay, I thought so. Because you always
Absolutely
buy.
love peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm a fan of like the chocolate ones right now.
Yeah,
But
I
nobody
highly
else-
recommend.
Nobody else eats those other than you.
They just don't know what they're missing out on.
People suck.
You know, you know what? I look at it this way. Oh, leaves more for the rest of us if they don't like it.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I fucking love those things, dude. I don't know how long we've been going, dude.
I know.
But I feel like I want to have you back on before you leave.
Oh, for sure.
Which will be, but yeah, this needed to happen.
I'm so glad. Yeah.
Dude, this is cool. This is like you're like the perfect person to like kick this thing back off with. I think you
so humbled. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you would set the tone. You set the tone perfectly for what I want this show to be, which is a good time. And people that love this place, not even love this place, but just people that I think that are rad in my area.
Yeah.
So, and you're one of my rad friends.
Thank you. Wow.
I know we totally didn't dive into a lot of things that maybe I wanted to, but the conversation was always fun, nonetheless.
It's always a good time. Always a good time. And it's what's even better is that this doesn't even capture the best of it. I think some of the best conversations, best moments are always like off, virtual reality.
Oh, I know. I feel like on the car on the way back home, it's going to be even better because I had to pick you up. But no, dude, I just want to say thank you for being my pal. And thanks for one thing I really wanted to say, like in front of everybody. I told you in person is I appreciate you always being unbiased and being a friend to everybody and never having anybody feel left out. Like that is one thing that I've never had in a friend before, was like somebody that is fair to everybody. And I appreciate that from you for being like such a good friend.
Wow, it means a lot. I mean, a lot coming from you. Yeah,
yes,
I have a lot to learn. Always a work in progress, but I mean, I'm just grateful to such an amazing group of pals here. Like you guys have left an impression on me for forever. I've never had friends like I've had in Yuma, and I truly mean that.
I think everybody can say that about you too. I don't know anybody that can has a negative thing to say about you truthfully.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all you and Ben. You and Ben have been such positive people. It's gonna be a bummer for sure when you leave, but that's why we have to make the most of you and him while you guys are here.
And I have a feeling we really like the West Coast. When Ben's contract is up, I mean, we're definitely westbound again.
We're going to Vegas.
Yeah, we weren't meant to be East Coast people. We love the East Coast, but there's something really special about the Western U.S.
Oh, yeah, it's great over here.
For certain, yes.
Yeah, we'll have to go to the East Coast. I'm down to go to the East Coast.
Cool. Everyone's invited. Beach
Sick.
Party.
Oh, my God. Can you
jet
imagine?
skis.
I've never been to jet ski.
Okay.
Might be the time.
All right, Senator's Wash. We'll get some rentals off base. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, you took my girlfriend. You didn't take me. What the fuck? You guys are all doing backflips off of jet skis and shit.
I still need to learn how to do a backflip off a jet ski. She did that, not me.
Yeah, I get criticized every time I do a backflip because my girlfriend's a gymnast. And not me.
It's all right.
I do a backflip like just not good. I like flop over. I feel like I don't do it right.
I do a back flop too. Yeah.
Yeah, cheers for backflops.
Yes. All right. And we got to go. You know what? We can practice off the cliffs.
Oh, fuck, Cara. That's just going to...
Yeah. Hey, it at least what you're standing on doesn't move. Jet skis move. That's way harder.
Yeah, we just got to get out. We just got to jump back and out.
There we go.
We just scratched the surface of... I feel like I just scratched the surface with like diving into your personality, but I hope people from this podcast can appreciate you as much as I have. And I know Alexis has and all of our friends.
Wow. You guys are seriously too generous, but you know what? Friendship never ends,
True.
And what is time and distance, especially in 2020? It's just a car drive, a flight, a DM away. So.
Yeah, we're in a weird world right now.
We really are. Yeah.
Pretty sure time travel is going to be real. We can just bounce right back.
There we go.
Maybe not. Probably not.
Yeah.
All right, pal. Thanks for being on the show. I appreciate you. It was a lot of time coming.
I appreciate you.
All right, guys. Bye.